All right. Hello, everybody. So it's been a little while, but I'm back today, and we're gonna have a little discussion on the topic of how love and care affects your health, your heart health. So, yeah, we'll start with just a little bit of kirtan to warm up and get in the zone. Um, Jaya Raya Madhava Jaya Giri Baradhari 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 Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Giri Baradhari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Giri Baradhari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Giri Baradhari Jaya Raya Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Raya Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari. Okay, so welcome everybody. I'd just like to say that I'm a little bit like mucusy today, so you might hear that in my voice is a little bit nasal and I'm sniveling, but please overlook it. Yeah, so in this topic about how love and care affect our heart health, we're going to be looking at aspects of understanding the heart. So physically, emotionally, psychologically, biologically. And we're going to take mainly an Ayurvedic stance. So we're going to look at the heart as a chakra and what strengthens and weakens it, and all the things connected to that, how we can actually maintain, understand how this energetic thing is working. Because yeah, we'll get to that. So like one thing that I can say, we're gonna speak a little bit just like how to avoid demonic women and demonic kinds of personalities. I recently had an experience of dealing with someone that showed some very worrying qualities, and yeah, it was someone that I had been recommended to befriend, and that I had very friendly befriended and very innocently, maybe naively, and I had fun. I danced with this person. I opened myself up to them, and then previously I had noticed them as someone that used to watch me a lot. Just like always caught them looking at me in the one or two times I'd seen them before, and yeah. So anyway, I guess that potentially this person was envious, jealous of my association, and after we had some interactions, at the first chance that she got, she actually took an opportunity to behave in a very kind of condescending and cruel way towards me. Um, and this broke some, just some normal, respectable etiquettes in the way that people behave. Especially, I was very kind, I was very facilitating and understanding and forgiving. And after that incident, I gave a lot of very heartfelt and sincere, humble advice. And I forgave the whole situation, and I was like, you know, she seemed genuine, she seemed apologetic, so I was like, okay, maybe it's fine, like that kind of thing. And then yeah, so I gave a kind of a protective, sheltering, caring, reciprocal energy. And then in the following days, I followed up with a question that I'd forgotten, and then I'd ask her, we spoke about. She responded with a question, and then later in the day, I revealed to her that she had broken my heart with the behavior that she had exhibited and the repercussive effects that it had had on my other relationships that she was pretty envious of. And yeah, that girl was silent for a few days, and then all of a sudden she just came out of nowhere with like these threats that she was going to report me to the police for harassment. um so that was pretty crazy. I met a crazy person, or maybe she was just going through a lot of trouble, I'm not really sure. But it didn't end there, it continued. And previously she hadn't really been around much. She had kind of come into my life, come into my relationships, had quite a negative impact, and put a lot of negative energy, envious energy in there. And then when I finally spoke to her and I told her, like, that wasn't so cool, I didn't appreciate that, I was threatened with harassment, which was pretty crazy because I felt harassed. So I blocked her, and I was like, some people, where you can't deal with them. And maybe a week later, I found this person was like standing over my shoes one day, and I kind of maneuvered around in front to put my shoes on my feet. And she kind of stood there with this very, very intimidating attempt to be intimidating, and this very stone hard look on her face, like, I'm not moving. And I just kind of put my shoes on at an awkward dancer's angle, and then continued on with the other people that I was with. But I just thought that was pretty insane. Like, a normal person would just kind of step aside, even if something had happened, not like try to go so far to like really disturb and intimidate someone after they had already crossed a lot of boundaries, acting in a very envious way to try and turn close friends I had against me, out of pure envy. So yeah, what we're looking at is some examples of a symptom of someone with a lot of heart chakra problems. And we could say that there was also kind of like a duplicitous desire there, because in our discussion it had been this kind of very people pleasing kind of like, yeah, I'm sorry, and I understand, and it's not going to happen. But then all of this other behavior followed afterwards. So I would say you could call it kind of duplicitous, to like try and act like my friend and my well-wisher, but then only superficially, only in a superficial way, and then kind of use me as like a supply. So that kind of tends towards narcissistic behavior. And these are people that have very weak heart chakras. Actually, it's a condition. So what happens when people don't really receive healthy love and care in their life? And that's what we're gonna try and look at, because this is actually what's affecting our heart health indirectly, and or directly. So yeah, human interactions definitely affect our heart health and the energy of our heart chakra. If someone has a lack of intimate and spiritual relationships in their life, then the heart chakra, heart related things become weak. It becomes a weak energy portal. So these people usually become a little bit more dejected, tired, depressed. Yeah. Uh, we can. Some people, if we spend a lot of time in relationships with people that are selfish, that are evil, envious, or like very materially absorbed, um, this can also create weakening in the heart center, in the heart chakra. Some people like spending time with people that make like a lot of nasty jokes. They have a very cool sense of humor, or their mind is just kind of in this kind of space, like in people's suffering or weaknesses and things like that. This will also weaken our heart chakra, definitely. People that compete with you a lot but kind of act like your friends, weakening heart chakra. People with a very low self-esteem that try to act like big, that's all very external. That's very external. Inside, they're actually people that are insecure, and they're craving external superiority, to kind of fill that hole. This is kind of actually a subtle form of pride. It's a subtle form of pride, even though it comes from insecurity. It's a subtle form of sexual pride, actually. And this is like part of dirt that we all kind of have in our hearts and need to kind of progress through the way we're conditioned in society and so on. So yeah, these are the kinds of unhealthy relationships things we can pick up on that are going to affect us negatively in our heart center. But yeah, on the flip side of that, for someone that has enough healthy relationships in their life, like a lot of people in their life that are pouring love and care into us, and this in turn makes the heart chakra become really strong and radiant. So yeah, on the whole, most people think that health is just a physiological thing, like your health is just based on the physical elements of your being, what you eat, your exercise, what you're exposed to. But that is not actually true. If you ever heard of the chakra system, because I've been speaking about the heart chakra, so like, what is it? The chakra system is like these energy centers in your body, because your body is like made of 3 layers, so there's a physical body, there's a mental body, and then there's like a soul, like a spiritual energy, and these 3 are combined, and the chakras are part of this spiritual energy. They're alignment of energy centers. You have 7, and you have some small minor ones, but they're going up from your root all the way to your crown. So and if you've also ever heard of Ayurveda is an ancient Vedic medicinal system, which is all about the balance of our emotional, psychological, environmental, and physical health, and together with spiritual. So it's more accurate and it's more wholesome in that sense. It's distracting me. So yeah, it's not only just what we're exposed to physically that actually affects our heart and our health, but also our thoughts, our experiences, our relationships, our emotions. All of these can affect our physical body. If you think about it, like, in the nervous system, the energy waves, how they affect our body, hormones, emotions affect your hormones, endorphins, waste retention, the nervous system, oxygenation, etc., etc. So really the goal is to find balance. The goal is to be balanced overall. And so understanding Ayurveda and the energy centers can really help us to get there, more than just like taking meds and exercising. So these things are going to affect our health. That's why it's important. It's important to keep a good energy and be aware of what's going on and how to maintain it in a healthy way. As we all know, the soul is seated in the heart. It's literally, so the heart chakra is the closest to the soul. It's like the first direct, it's the main chakra. And this is where the soul energy is also coming through very strongly here. And the heart chakra is also the main chakra. So it's like balancing the internal and the external, worlds that we have within us. It's the point where they meet. Okay, so now we're going to look at just some quick symptoms. Like if you have an imbalance in your heart chakra. So if you have a balanced heart chakra, you'll feel very deeply connected. You'll feel deeply connected and in harmony with everything and everyone around you. You'll be appreciating beauty and feeling good vibes most of the time. If you have a blocked heart chakra, you'll be experiencing difficulties relating to others, feelings of jealousy, loneliness, codependency, or being withdrawn. So symptoms, quick signs of a blocked heart chakra. So when the heart chakra, it can either be blocked, underactive, overactive, or in a healthy, balanced state. So blocked would be, emotionally one would feel like disconnected. They'd feel disconnected from people in the environment and things that are going on. They would feel unable to trust people, have a fear of intimacy. They would be holding on to grudges. They would feel emotional numbness and difficulty empathizing with others. Psychologically, they would be, lonely, sad, socially withdrawn. They would have a lack of self-love and self-compassion as well. And they would feel unworthy, and they would have a lot of difficulty in forming meaningful and healthy relationships. Physically, they might experience like stiffness in the chest, the shoulders, upper back, poor blood circulation, high or low blood pressure, and physical tension like in the heart area, maybe between the shoulder blades as well, everything that's relating to what's going on physically in this kind of area. And behaviorally, someone with a blocked heart chakra is someone that, would have excessive jealousy, a lot of envy, resentment, very resentful, unforgiving, holding on to grudges, and a tendency to isolate oneself. They might also tend to negative forms of codependency. You do get healthy forms of codependency, of course. So how, they would have a lack of self-love. They would have negative emotions, a lot of anger and resentment, and guilt. Guilt can also contribute to a blockage in the heart chakra if you're holding on to a lot of guilt. Not valuing themselves, poor boundaries, having difficulty setting and maintaining personal boundaries can also affect the heart chakra. Can't connect and relate to people and your environment and things in a healthy way. So, okay. So now we'll look at underactive. Blocked and underactive are two different things, because blocked is like it's closed. It's closed, it's not functioning. Also these people can experience extreme lethargy and depression. You can develop heart problems. They're the people that can die from heart attacks, we don't want to see people like this, with this suffering around us, and not do something about it, because they need healthy interactions and relationships to heal that. So underactive, maybe it's just not balancing, like it's not operating optimally in balance, but it's kind of weak. It's a weak chakra, it's a weak energy center. So these people will have heart and lung problems, circulation, heart pain, palpitations, those kind of thing, respiratory issues, shallow breathing, not able to breathe deeply, breathing difficulties, high or low blood pressure, as we mentioned, stiffness, etc., etc. So psychologically and emotionally, they will have a fear of rejection and abandonment, trust issues, even with oneself, difficulty with affection, receiving and giving, overdependence for validation, being overdependent for validation from another person or others, distancing from loved ones, so behaving very distantly and unemotionally, not wanting to be vulnerable, unworthiness, feeling unworthy, undeserving, a lot of self-doubt, manipulative behaviors. So they might try to control things in a way to their favor, like instead of things playing out naturally or spiritually or harmoniously, naturally. Manipulative people are dangerous. Isolation and loneliness, holding grudges and being jealous, as we spoke about. So now we're going to look at some things for overactive. So when its energy center is like overactive, there's too much energy here, it needs to calm down. So excessive giving and sacrificing, a lot of putting others' needs ahead of their own in an unhealthy way, leading to self-neglect, feeling drained, codependency, so the unhealthy types, overly reliant on others for validation and love, struggling to set healthy boundaries and maintain a healthy sense of independence. Poor boundaries, as we said, not being able to assert their needs when it does lead to them putting negative energy on other people, themselves, in relationships, even exploitation, or feeling used, jealousy of other people's relationships and the attention other people get, feeling insecure about their own worth. They might do very bad or manipulative, controlling things to assert their own worth. Clinging and demanding, can become overly attached. Heartburn, tight chest, these things. So those are some of the symptoms of a overactive health chakra. So what we're going to look at now, just practically, just from assessing that, these effects, which can come from unhealthy conditioning and behaviors in relationships, or can be the cause of that. Most of these are changeable. Excuse me. Most of these are changeable. So how do we balance it? How do we bring balance to this heart center? So first we need to know what a healthy heart chakra looks like, and then we can know how to bring balance there. So a healthy heart chakra is someone who has emotional stability. Okay, so emotional stability, you feel a sense of calmness and balance, even in your emotions, even when facing challenges. They have strong relationships, or they're easily able to form them based on love, respect, and empathy. Some people have strong relationships that are unhealthy. That's not really a strong relationship. That's a negative attachment. A strong attachment, that's a bad attachment. Self-love and acceptance. You feel good enough, love yourself, allow you to attract positive people and positive experiences. Then we all need that. Compassion and empathy. So you're easily able to feel compassion and empathy for other people without being judgmental. And forgiveness. You're able to forgive yourself and others and past sufferings that you've experienced. So how do we get there? How do we get to this amazing point, And also being a healthy, unit for other people in your, society, your community. So we're going to talk about, just some things that you can do to balance your heart chakra. Okay. So this is the fun part, the action part. So it's good to take notes of things if they inspire you, and make a progressive way to be active in them, rather just sometimes hearing it comes in and goes out and then tomorrow you're the same. So if any of this has really touched on you, you've experienced any of these symptoms, like just get a little notebook or journal and just write down some of these things, and like just make small steps that you can do to just do some of these things. um so yeah, how to get the healthy traits of a healthy heart chakra. So simple things we can do is eating a lot of green foods, broccoli, kale, green fruits, green soups, green drinks. This is like good heart energy. It brings oxygen into your blood. Oxygen strengthens your heart, and that boosts your immune system and everything. um yeah, I forgot to mention also, when you have an underactive or blocked heart chakra, because the respiratory system and the lungs and the heart are also linked to the thymus. The thymus is kind of governing the immune system. So the immune system will be very weak also when we have a blocked or underactive heart chakra, and this is going to lead to things like being much more vulnerable to like catching infections and diseases and taking a long time to heal and get better. um so yeah, that is important. I just wanted to go back to that. So eating lots of green foods, being in green environments, and spending a lot of time in nature, spending time in green nature. Get a little closer here. And wearing green, seeing green, surrounding yourself with green, having lots of pot plants. And also doing like green yantra meditations. So I don't know if you've ever seen like, those psychedelic trippy like symmetrical mandala meditations that you can watch on YouTube. You could just meditate on that, while you're doing japa or pranayama. That will also help if you're a visual person. And then you can also do heart opening yoga poses. So some yoga postures also help to bring good energy and open up and balance the heart chakra, such as, back bends and chest openers. And breathing exercises, pranayama, learning how to deepen your breath and being able to withhold and inhale more oxygen. Cultivating a daily gratitude practice. So every day, what are you doing to connect with gratitude? A gratitude journal, or just daily saying, having prayers, meditations where you're meditating on everything to be grateful for once or twice or thrice or all throughout the day. If you can get to that level, your heart will be so open. And you can do that with your peers and your loved ones as well. You can bring them into the gratitude practice, reflect with them, bounce things off with them, reflect your gratitude towards them regularly. Like, if you make it regular, it will become a habit, and then it will become an automatic mental pattern. That's why actually making a regular practice of the things that are good for us, like a little bit every day, that's how it becomes who we are, not just wishing it and checking in on it once or twice. So take the time to do that. It's going to bring so much benefit into your life, even improve your immune system. Bliss and love focused daily affirmations. So you read that every day in the morning. I am love, I'm caring, I'm forgiving, something like that. Cultivating healthy love. So we have a very passionate idea about love in this world, how it makes me feel, what I want to receive from it, the feelings that I get from it, how I want to build with it. But really, we need to know what healthy love in relationships are, what healthy relationships are, because some of the things that we might have been cultured or conditioned into believing as love or even as good, in relationships isn't. And we could be attached to that or recreating that or putting that on other people. Weakening the heart chakra and other people's. Practicing forgiveness and acceptance. So of course, That's not always easy. Some of us have gone through very difficult experiences, um, even heartbreaks directly, and obviously it's not to be naive and stupid. Obviously it's not always to run back into things, but to bring things to a healthy level, and to, for your own mental well-being, understand the depth and the value and the meaning of forgiveness and acceptance in a healthy way, not always what's forced on you. um yeah, that's something to journal about and look into and discuss in those relationships. And sometimes discussion is good. Like, you can't always know what's going on with people. Sometimes people do things and it hurts, it creates damage, offense, and then, you know sometimes it's just an assumption. What was their intention? Why did that action actually happen? And sometimes we find out that people actually had a really good intention towards us, or things were not as they seemed, or they were pushed in that direction by someone else or some circumstances. And that can help us to come to forgiveness and acceptance, or even heal damaged relationships, because we shouldn't just, assume that we know what's going on, especially when things are bothering us, especially when something is recurring in your mind, then your heart, then, Krishna in your heart is like telling you something's going on here. We need to look into it for healing and light. So, be brave. Bravery is something that also brings strength into the heart center. Being courageous, facing your fears, expressions of love. So yeah, self-love and compassion. Obviously, self-love, I've done sessions on this previously, which you can go and take a look at. It's not pride. It's not righteousness. It's not arrogance. And it's not external. So know what healthy self-love is, and that will also improve your heart chakra. And compassion, acts of kindness and charity, getting involved in that, committing to doing 1 or 2 a week or something like that, or every day. You're gonna just like pump your heart with so much positive energy. It's gonna feel amazing. So try it. Just try. Think of one thing. Just think of one thing. Maybe do it repeatedly. Ask people for other things or ideas, and just like get into a habit of it. Get into a culture of thinking of directing your energy and your actions in these ways. A little bit outside of your comfort zone as well. Definitely. That's important, to try other things and other ways of expressing love and compassion and charity. Breathing, as I said, breathwork, pranayama, also singing. Because of that, singing is also, doing a lot to open and balance these 2 chakras. And especially, letting go rituals, like letting go things, like you write down everything you've been frustrated about when you're angry with someone, when you've been hurt, when you've been offended, some dark things you just can't get out of you, just write it down, burn it. I don't know. There's so many different kinds of letting go rituals. Essential oils, also back to like a practical level. Some scents also work with our chakras. So you'll just have to check like what are the scents that open up the heart chakra and balance the heart chakra. Rose, geranium, rose. And the most important one is also going to be, you can make so much progress and then just degress by keeping associating with people that are not healthy in this way. Sometimes we need to act in a compassionate way, and we're giving energy and association to help, but not if we're too susceptible, or something, we can't manage it. If it's having an overall negative impact, maybe you're not the person that's meant to be charitable in that way to that person. Even though you can see the positive effect of them getting that, maybe someone else should be doing it. What's going to be the overall best, way to just associate with people that have a healthy heart chakra, that have all those qualities: emotional stability, self-love and acceptance, etc., etc. And spend time with those people that are loving and caring. know how to be healthy in relationships. And yeah. So what we can also understand is, what does spirituality do with our heart center? And that's very important, because the heart is, of course, where the soul is. So this is something that's very directly associated with our heart chakra, of course. And so yeah, sorry for the wobbles. Spiritual life, how does spiritual life help with this? Well, spiritual life balances all of our chakras. If we have a strong, what you call sadhana or spiritual practice daily, it will balance your health, your body, and your mind. This will help you to center your consciousness back into your heart, because sometimes our consciousness, or the majority of our attention, is like somewhere else, like it's here or there or down there, but it should be here most of the time. This is where we should try keep it, with our heart. Connects us with our intuition and God. So spiritual life helps to do that, and that's very important. You can't ignore your intuition. You can't ignore, the spiritual realm and the spiritual side of things, and how that's affecting you, and leading you. So there's this ancient text called the Bhagavad Gita. It's it's one of the most popular ancient, like, Vedic literatures, a book full of knowledge about the mind, body, soul, karma, time, etc. And in there's an explanation of what's going on with the fact that the soul is seated within the heart center. So in the body, it says, in the body, along with the individual soul, is the super soul, a plenary representation of Lord Krishna or Vishnu. The super soul is called Paramatma or Adi Yagya and is situated in the heart. The word Eva is particularly important within the context of this verse, because the Lord stresses that Paramatma is not different from him. So that is, the super soul, or basically God, is seated right next to the individual soul and is the witness of the activities of the soul, and is the source of the soul's various types of consciousness. The supersoul gives the individual soul, from there, an opportunity to act freely and witness his activities. So literally there's like a little incarnation of God or Krishna literally sitting next to the soul of every single living being. That's a plant, that's a dog, that's every person, everything that's living, and directing energies towards the soul. That's your intuition, basically. And it's also watching. It's watching you still act independently. You still, like we spoke about, you have free will, you have some level of independence, besides your karma and a lot of external influences and things, and that there's an influence coming from that. But that's pretty amazing. So when we're in tune with the heart chakra, and when it's healthy and balanced, we're really also in tune with divine love and with God, and we're gonna be like amazing tools for positivity, like, in this world. So please align your heart. More ways that we can balance the heart chakra. Sorry, I'm just going back to that. So we just had a little bloop about, how spiritual life also affects the health of our heart chakra. So meditation, of course. Meditation is another way to balance your heart center. Connect with soulful acts and philosophies. These are relating to the soul. Feel God's love and compassion for you and everything. Meditate on that. Think about that. That will also help you balance. Be active and positive elements in your society. For the flow for the flow of this positive love, positive, healthy heart living, so that we can be the golden age team. We want to be the golden age team. We don't want to be the demons that Kalki comes to slay. We want to be on the side, like, we're living from here, we're living golden, we're bringing them back into this world. And when Kalki comes, he's gonna be cool with us, you know. We don't want to be on the team that's he's gonna slay. So yeah, love and care, of course. Love and care strengthens our whole body's health system. It really does. And it strengthens our brain as well. It's like the one little effect has all the other little effects. Let's move into the light. So yeah, we need to become addicted to happy endorphins, to happy people, to happy thought processes. We rather say blissful, soulful. Become addicted to that, because we have a lot of negative addictions, and you won't even notice how, like, one little negative thought pattern is dragging you back so far and blocking you from so much positivity in your life and growth and fortune and well-being. So please make the effort to become addicted. It means making a habit and sticking with it until it becomes real. There's this like shadow over my face. Just give me a second. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, that would be my main message today. Become addicted to the things which are healthy for you. Become blissful. Share healthy love and care in your relationships, in your communities, and really rise up to this level. You know, cultivate healthy habits in your life. And help people that are needful of that. That's what community is about. We're not here to exist alone. There have been some great personalities that have existed ages ago, even now, you know, that they can live in this energy, and it doesn't even matter if they're like in a hellish environment, because they just feel so strongly, you know, the presence of God, the presence of Krishna in their hearts and in their practice and in their consciousness, and they're just living in that, and that gives them so much strength, because that's the most pure and the most powerful form of love, you know, is spiritual love. Not like, you know, even astrological compatibility isn't love. It's just mental, like, similarity. But someone that you're a little bit less compatible with might have more spiritual love and benefit and affection for you in your life. So yeah, there have been some great personalities who drew so much love and presence from God and from Krishna, and they were like totally transcendental to even being in, you know, hellish environments, and some of these needs that we have in order to maintain this level of health, they were even transcendental to that. And they could, you know, if you're on a very like high level of bhakti yoga, you can get like that. That can happen. Yeah, a high level of bhakti can give you that. Personally, I'm not like Prahlad. You know, he could just be he could preach in a hellish situation or environment. I'm someone, I need like Raj sweetness, you know, I need love, like the gopis, and or like a mad kirtan, a lot of these things. So yeah, anyway, I hope that there's something in there for you, and that we can start to identify and heal internally and externally, and be part of that A team, that golden A team. Yeah, that's why I do this. So if you have any reflections, doubts, queries, questions, comments, I would really appreciate to hear your thoughts. I love being in discussion about these things, so you can just reach out to me. You can connect with me on Instagram, or you can message me here and we can chat. if you want a holistic healing session, I also do that. And it's very personalized, looking at how to optimize yourself and your life and your needs, and just come into your own personal glow up. So I can also do that. Just connect with me, or someone that you need to connect with. Yeah.